Hi guys, I'm Hüseyin Karaman, and this video is one of the requirements of the Critical Thinking in Second Foreign Language course, and I'm going to wrap up the 10th week which we covered assessment topic. And this is our table of contents. We will look at readings and discussions and procedure and final discussions. And from the readings, there were 4 significant points. And they are: what is an assessment and why we have it, what makes a good assessment, authentic assessment, and rubrics designed for critical thinking, and what is an assessment and why we have assessments. Assessment is the methodical basis for making judgments about students' growth and progress, and why we have it, because there needs to be a connection between teaching and learning, and it helps teachers to design the curriculum regarding the assessment results. And what makes a good assessment? Assessments should focus on the student learning, not the teacher instruction, and should be balanced, informing, and formative. And authentic assessment. Authentic assessment differs from the traditional assessments, and it includes performing a task. It is student structured. It includes real-life experiments, and it is constructive, and it includes direct evidence. And Mayer referred to authentic assessment as backward design because it drives the curriculum. And before making assessments, we should set the goals, standards, and objectives, which are the descriptions of what students will be able to do. And then we will distinguish them whether they are measurable or not measurable. And there is a caricature. I see you did well in school, but what real world skills do you have? I can take tests. We don't not want that in authentic assessment. And what are the rubrics purposes? Firstly, rubrics is set of instructions and rules, and they assist professors in evaluating regular learn productively. They inform students about what their instructor is picking at, what the instructors want, and how to accomplish the goals, and provide students with feedback. And some researchers indicated that a holistic rubric, rubric should be, and you can check that after the presentation. I will share that with you. And for the discussions, our class attendance consists of nearly 15 people, and only 5 of the students did the assignment, including the professor. And for instance, the professor wrote that she thinks analytical rubrics that sets out forms of thinking that are more important. And Jaranay and me thought that critical thinking should be assessed with authentic assessment. And for the procedures, beginning of the class, we had some small conversations, and teacher asked us about if we had already taken the evaluation course, and since most of us did not, the teacher gave us information about it. And instruction, we learned summative, formative, traditional, and authentic assessments, and we gave some examples. And for the other instruction part, we discussed if critical thinking can be measured or not, and teacher shared a YouTube video with us, and here's the link for you guys. I will share that again. And for the class discussion, the professor asked us to talk about some rubrics used by various universities that we chose from the reading texts, and we discussed their competency and simplicity. For the closure, the teacher and the lesson by giving information about the next week's topics and finals. And for the final discussions, there were some questions in the reading text, and I searched it and gave some reference to them. Is critical thinking assessment should be task specific? Assessments evaluate a specific task, so individual criteria are evaluated separately. Nevertheless, it might be not feasible to compensate for each set of criteria. involved in a specific task, which may lead to the omission of a student's particular solution. And why use a rubric when a list of grading criteria might be more helpful to students? Students may complain about why their grades are low. Students may wonder where their mistakes and shortcomings come from. And Stevens and Levi said rubric could be useful for them. And there is a thumbs up and thumbs down game. I will want to do that in my class presentation. And there's an optional activity. I will share that with you guys. And there's a references. Thank you for listening.